Have you ever left an argument after saying everything you could think of, yet felt empty inside, as if your own voice had let you down? Maybe the room was packed with people who confuse loudness with strength, who interrupt like it's a sport, who praise arrogance and mock careful thinking. You might have thought that staying quiet made you weak, that not fighting back meant you lost. But what if the real fight isn't out there at all? What if the greatest move is made without a single word? Psychologist Carl Jung spent his life showing that the true battlefield is inside us, between the part we show the world and the deeper part that seeks wholeness. Words clash on the outside. Symbols and feelings clash within. Whatever side of that inner fight you master will shape every talk you ever have. Picture two minds facing each other like mirrors. On the surface you notice posture, tone, smart remarks, anger. Under that thin layer live the real engines, old fears, hidden shame, childhood stories still guiding grown-up bodies. When someone tries to crush you with words, they aren't proving strength, they're showing fear. A single calm stare might crack their mask. Jung said the mind wants to be whole, and any part we reject pops out as noise. Non-stop talking, frantic persuading, the urge to force agreement. That noise isn't power, it's a sign of inner splits. Silence, by contrast, isn't empty. It's the sound of a united self, steady, no longer needing applause to feel real. We're trained to chase wins in public, stack facts, corner rivals, plant flags on conversation hills. Jungian thought tells a different story. The real duel begins when someone's unhealed shadow hooks yours and drags both into a dance you didn't choose. If you join that dance without thinking, you lose your freedom and become a puppet of old, half-forgotten stories. Silence cuts the strings. In that quiet, your own hidden parts calm down, and the other person must face the mirror you hold up by not reacting. Think about a loud coworker who bursts into a meeting, acting like shouting equals respect. Behind the show is a hurt child, maybe one who was ignored or told gentle voices don't matter. That child now shouts through a megaphone called adulthood. If you meet noise with noise, your own hurt child leaps out, maybe the one that feels safe only when it's right. The room turns into a hidden kindergarten. Instead, drop every inner weapon, breathe deep, and offer calm attention. The loud words bounce off you and fall silent. Without your echo, the performance weakens. The speaker hears their own noise grow painful. For a moment, they see the wounded child behind their anger. That moment starts their change, and you made it happen without saying a word. This isn't weakness, it's controlled strength. Jung spoke of the temenos, a safe space where rough materials heat up until something new is made. Your silence is that space. It soaks up other people's projections, holds the tension, and stops things from blowing up. It quietly tells the other person, look at yourself. Some can't handle that mirror and run. Others finally face truths they've avoided. Either way, the power comes from your inner steadiness, not from fancy arguments. Why is real silence so hard? Because a part of you, the persona that keeps you socially acceptable, thinks it must always perform to survive. The persona isn't bad, it's a helpful mask, but if it hogs the spotlight, you end up acting lines that aren't yours. When you feel the urge to explain, defend, or flood the room with words, notice that mask gripping the mic. Notice the small fear beneath it. If the mask slips, your flaws might show. Jung says the treasure you're after hides right behind that fear. When you choose silence, you move the persona off stage and let your deeper self breathe. The self holds both light and shadow, courage and weakness, and is already whole. Wholeness doesn't have to defend itself. Picture entering a heated meeting with this awareness humming inside you. Out loud, you greet everyone. Inside, you see the roles they play, the loud warrior, the needy orphan, the tricky joker. You notice them, but don't join them. You stand as a calm witness, shoulders relaxed, breath steady. A sarcastic remark flies past. You let it drift by. Someone demands you pick a side. You meet that pressure with spacious silence that turns the question back to them. Here's the twist: the less you react, the more gravity you have. People start to look toward the one who isn't scrambling for attention. Presence, Jung would say, draws the mind like a magnet, and presence grows best in quiet. Inside that calm, your real self shows up, barefoot, imperfect, shining. It speaks softly but clearly. You're allowed to be misunderstood, to keep some mystery, to let harsh judgments bounce back to where they came from. Jung called this lifelong work individuation, moving from broken pieces to one whole person. Every time you use thoughtful silence, you step further on that path. As you walk, something amazing happens. The world's noise seems quieter, not because it changed, but because you're now tuned to a deeper note. From that deeper place, when you do speak, your words ring like a clear bell across a valley. One sentence from the self beats 1,000 from the ego. A funny thing follows. You talk less, yet people say they understand you better. It's not loudness they hear, it's the harmony behind your words. Jung called this harmony coherence, mind, feelings, and body all humming together. Many talks fail because the speaker's words say one thing but hidden feelings pulse another. Listeners sense that mismatch and pull back. When your inner band is in tune, even one note carries. Silence lets you catch tiny off notes first. You pause, feel the tight jaw or quick heartbeat, breathe until it eases or makes sense. Then, whatever you say comes out as one clear intention, and people feel that unity as real authority before they even unpack the logic. When you feel solid and whole inside, some people will place you on a pedestal. Because they haven't met their own center, they label you teacher, hero, guru, or, if afraid, a danger. Jung said this happens when the inner feminine, anima, or inner masculine, animus, is undeveloped. It pushes its hopes or judgments onto whoever seems steady. If you don't notice, you may get a big head or crumble under pressure. Use silence as a shield. Let praise or blame pass through without sticking. If needed, gently hand it back. What you see in me lives in you too. That short line returns the spotlight to them and keeps you from wearing either halo or horns. This same skill matters in the wider world, on social media, in meetings, in protests. Mass emotions move like storms. If you're not aware, your silence can become frozen agreement, or your words can become loud groupthink. First, anchor in your deeper self. Ask, is this feeling mine or just background noise? What symbol shows up in dreams about this issue? Where is the true balance point in all these stories? Only then decide, stay quiet or speak one clear sentence. Often the best tool is a simple question that opens new angles. Questions, Jung said, can crack walls others think are solid. True quiet also needs a calm body. Many people try to meditate while their muscles are tight with stress. Unreleased tension keeps the brain on high alert, so give the body what it needs. Walk under trees, knead dough, garden, stretch slowly. As the body relaxes, silence feels natural, not forced. A settled nervous system holds its own stillness even when talk heats up around you. Your dreams help too. They show, in pictures, what daytime words can't. Write them down as soon as you wake. Sit with the lion that won't roar or the child with the rusty key. Ask what each image wants from you today. You may learn your recent silence is cold avoidance, not calm power. Adjust. Silence used wrongly freezes. Silence used wisely flows like water. Some days life cuts deep, betrayal, injustice, grief. Jung never told us to skip those feelings. Let the body shake or shout, then choose your response. Sometimes silence still holds the deepest truth. Other times a firm, clear voice is needed. Even then, speak like a bell. Few words, pure and honest. Such words aim for connection, not points scored. Over time, humility grows. You see, you can't control every ending. You can only stay in tune with the larger story Jung called the objective psyche. Some threads will break, some knots stay tight, and only years later will the full pattern show. So you judge talks by different measures. Did I stay in my center? Did my quiet give others space to see themselves? Did any words I used truly need to be said? These questions keep the voice honest and the silence meaningful. Inevitably, certain relationships will fall away. Companions accustomed to the old reactive you may bristle at the calm, may accuse you of coldness, arrogance, or change. It is not your task to convert them. Transformation of presence is invitation enough. Whoever is ready for that frequency will attune. Whoever is not may drift toward circles where familiar dramas still echo. Release them with genuine goodwill. Every psyche has its ripening season, and forcing germination is violence. Your silence honors each path without abandoning your own. The final frontier is self-dialogue. Outer quiet loses potency if your inner monologue remains a shouting match. Spend time each evening in active imagination, Jung's method of entering conversation with unconscious figures. Close your eyes, summon the critic who badgers you after every meeting, the wounded child who begs you to over-explain, the warrior who wants to scorch the earth with perfect comebacks. Let them speak in images, colors, tones. Listen without censorship until their energy softens. Often they simply want recognition. Paradoxically, hearing them inside allows you to speak less outside, for their frantic need dissolves in the warm pool of attention. Inner parliament grows civil, and outer silence gains depth because it is no longer a battleground, but a shared home. Word by word, pause by pause, you become the still point Jung hinted at, a nucleus of living quiet around which events swirl like galaxies and from which meaning radiates. The knot in the throat loosens, not because you learned grander speeches, but because the self settled where the knot used to be. The conversations you once feared become opportunities to practice presence. The arguments that once seduced you into frenzy reveal themselves as invitations to center further. And in that centering, there is a joy no victory lap ever delivered. The joy of authenticity sounding through silence, like a bronze bell struck in an empty dawn. Each dawn offers a rehearsal for your evolving mastery. Before the phone lights up with the world's demands, step onto the stage of your own interior and conduct a ritual of psychic hygiene. Sit with the hush that lingers between breaths. Invite the waking intellect to remain a respectful observer while sensation takes the podium. Notice the low hum of blood behind the eardrums, the soft expansion of ribs, the subtle temperature at the edge of every fingertip. This inventory is not indulgence, it is reconnaissance. You are mapping the baseline frequencies of your body so that any discordant note struck later in the day, an email laced with urgency, a sideways comment that pricks an old scar, can be recognized as foreign weather rather than an inborn climate. Jung called this establishing the standpoint of the self, a living center from which ego experiences but no longer dictates. The few minutes you gift to this inward listening inoculate you against the contagion of other people's unfinished stories. When you finally rise and speak your first word, silence has already braided itself through your vocal cords, lending weight and clarity to even the shortest greeting. Now carry that cultivated quiet into the digital bazaar, a realm engineered to abolish contemplation. Each scroll invites micro-outrage. Each ping seduces the limbic system. The collective shadow runs rampant in comment threads, projecting unowned fear onto any target that glows on screen. Remember, you do not owe the algorithm your blood pressure. Before you type, feel your pulse. If it races, close the application. Watch the screen fade to black like a theater curtain descending on a play you no longer wish to finance. Your silence in that moment is not disengagement from society. It is refusal to become fodder for energies that deplete every participant. Post only when a statement resonates with the stillness forged at dawn. One concise paragraph, crafted from integration, can cut through 1,000 shouting avatars because coherence transmits even through pixels. The self, Jung taught, is not confined by physical proximity. Its signal travels archetypal channels deeper than fiber optic cables. The practice expands in boardrooms and living rooms alike. When a tense meeting spirals toward blame, you notice shoulders lifting around ears, voices climbing registers. You keep yours grounded, or you offer none at all, letting the power of pause yank every drifting eye back to the present. In family disputes you used to enter as prosecutor, you now enter as silent witness, and the shift mystifies relatives who were prepared for combat. They flail at the empty space where your predictable rebuttal once stood. In that vacuum, they finally hear their own tone. Some will soften, discovering tenderness beneath anger. Others will escalate, threatened by the mirror. Your task is identical in both cases. Maintain the internal resonance, speak sparsely from it, and accept that outcomes lie beyond your jurisdiction. Children especially sense the difference. They calibrate their nervous systems to the calm in yours, learning by osmosis that one can feel deeply without broadcasting turbulence. Thus, silence seeds generational transformation long before lectures could. Use a simple object, a stone, a feather, or even a circle of ink on your wrist, as a reminder to pause before reacting. Whenever you see or touch that object, remember how you felt at dawn, how you resisted impulse online, and how you stayed calm in family arguments. These symbols speak to the deeper mind and quietly tell your hidden fears or cravings to stay put when you feel provoked. Jung said symbols are like the powerful images in dreams. Treat your symbol with respect. Keep it on your desk during tough talks, in your pocket at tense dinners, and next to your pillow so your dreams can show how true you stayed to yourself today. True practice of silence is hardest during a crisis. When you lose something important, face an unfair accusation, or get bad news, everything inside you can feel shattered. In that chaos, silence might turn into shutting down if you're not careful. The key is to let your pain out inside yourself before you share it. Cry, shake, write down every raw feeling, or scream into a pillow. But before you tell the world, come back to calm and ask yourself, what words truly help heal, rather than spread fear? Sometimes you'll find that you don't need to say anything publicly. Other times, a few honest words might help you and others. You'll know the difference by how your body feels when you imagine speaking. Tight and tense means wait. Open and calm means it's time. Silence in hard times isn't ignoring feelings. It's choosing when and how to share them. When your true self finally decides to speak, each word has power. A careful "I'm sorry" can end months of blame from both sides. A clear "this is my limit" can break family patterns that lasted generations. Think of ancient stories where one word brings order from chaos. Jung said that becoming your real self helps the whole community because each completed person sends out a steady signal. Your practiced silence is like rich soil. Your rare words are seeds. Some will grow quickly in a friendship or at work. Others may only show their value years later, helping a grandchild, a coworker, or a stranger find comfort under a tree you never see fully grown. Don't mistake this path for lonely isolation. True community thrives around quiet centers. Imagine a group where one person speaks while everyone else listens without interruption, letting the story heal people on a deep level. Think of musicians who pause together before starting. They build a shared breath that creates real harmony. Our minds need that kind of group rhythm because it mirrors how all our inner parts work best when the true self is in charge. Find or create spaces where shared silence is respected. Those places will restore you on days when the world's rush feels overwhelming. At some point, someone you care about may say, "Your silence feels like you're closing me out. I need you to speak." Here, you practice another skill, turning your inner calm into words without losing its power. Don't respond with a defensive speech. Instead, simply say, "I'm listening deeply and choosing each word with care because you matter to me." It's a straightforward sentence, but it invites them in rather than shutting them out. In that way, your silence becomes a doorway, not a wall, welcoming loved ones into a safe place instead of leaving them out in the cold. Over time, you'll see a surprising truth under every conversation. The self that chooses silence is connected to something much larger than you, an invisible field of shared human wisdom. When you don't react right away, you aren't isolating yourself. You're aligning with that deep wisdom found in dreams, meaningful coincidences, and the calm of ancient forests. A tree doesn't explain why it stands firm in a storm, yet the storm learns the tree's shape by meeting it. In the same way, the world meets you silently and slowly learns your true shape, and maybe even discovers its own. Silence becomes true wisdom when you don't feel the need to show it off. One day, you'll realize that you no longer think of silence as a strategy. It just becomes how you live. A coworker's sarcastic comment slips by you, not because you're blocking it, but because it never finds a wound to hurt. Traffic jams can rage around you, yet your breathing stays calm, and even your thoughts quiet down as if they respect the stillness. When you reach this point, compassion grows, not pity that tries to fix, but a gentle knowing that everyone carries hidden struggles you've learned to ease. Your calm presence gives permission. Strangers feel safe to share, friends open up, and critics falter, sensing unexpected space. You don't need to fix their problems. Your steady calm itself mirrors their own souls and lets them find answers in the quiet. This calm invites a new challenge, thinking of yourself as someone who heals everyone. Jung warned that can lead to pride. The cure is to return each day to beginner's mind, remembering that the unconscious is like an ocean and you're just a swimmer still discovering new currents. Let your dreams question your daytime certainties. Let a child's simple question puncture your polished ideas. Let your body refuse any schedule that forgets its basic needs. Humility must walk next to silence, making sure what grows around you is real authenticity, not a personality cult. From this mix of silence and humility comes the biggest gift: unblocked creativity. Ideas flow in like waves, untouched by mental fuss. Solutions appear in places where arguments once tangled. Art, inventions, small acts of love all grow more easily because silence creates fertile ground. Jung called this the transcendent function, when conscious and unconscious work together to produce new insights. By letting go of the urge to talk all the time, you give the transcendent function room to work. Answers you used to chase now arrive naturally, like birds settling on an open hand. So the journey returns to its first question: have you ever wanted to be unshakable? Maybe what you really wanted was a life where unshakable means being deeply rooted, not rigid, but flowing in harmony. A life like that doesn't erase pain. It lets pain come and go without losing who you are. It doesn't conquer chaos. It creates a center around which chaos can dance and become a pattern. All of this lives in the quiet moments between heartbeats, waiting for you to claim it. Close your eyes. Hear your own blood pulsing, the distant sounds of the city, the wide silence holding both. Feel how stillness and movement exist at the same time, how the earth spins beneath you even as you sit perfectly still. That is the heart of silence's mystery. Rest within motion, motion within rest. Let that mystery fill you. Let it shape how you speak next, how you handle disagreements, how you give a comforting hug. When words finally return, they will carry the scent of a deep forest. The world is starving for this deep energy. Don't offer it by shouting. Offer it by being present even when you're quiet. Give it in meetings, on sidewalks, at your kitchen table, in comment sections, on stages. Anywhere noise has outpaced meaning, always remember, Silence is not running away, it is the deepest form of closeness, the way your true self communicates with the world without distortion. Nurture it, protect it, share it, and watch how reality shifts around your quiet. If I must say one last thing, let it be this. Wise people aren't those who answer every question, but those whose quiet encourages others to hear their own hidden answers. Be that invitation. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to Psyche Survivalist. Your support helps us keep making simple, powerful psychology content. Thanks for being here.